Hey YouTube, why would you teach your dog to catch? Well, currently, Ease, what are you doing to that squirrel? Currently we're playing with a squirrel, but we are going to be doing some focus games, and focus really is catching. Catching is one of my favourite focus games. So here's how it goes. I often do start, I'm going to give you that piece of food, I often do start, get it, with a toy. And the reason I start with the toys, it's that little bit bigger. Can I have it? Ready? Thank you. It's that little bit bigger and that little bit easier to focus on. She can catch it without necessarily losing it. And I'm using Easy. She's a master catcher. Thank you. But it took her a little bit of time. So I've got food here, I've got toy here. Get it? And you can see that she may miss. That's okay. She's going to get it. It's just going to take her a little bit longer. Thank you. Are you ready? And I've put her on a bed, so I've made that catching a little bit easier. Yes, good girl. That was super. Thank you. Now, Easy is catching a stuffed squirrel. That would be because if you haven't seen already, we have a super cool podcast. It's called Sexier Than a One-Eyed Squirrel. No, it's Sexier Than a Squirrel. It just happens to have one eye, but it is sexier than a squirrel. And so, Easy, sexier than a squirrel, can you catch? No, she can't. It's okay. Remember, this is a game where we are teaching you to catch. Now, we start, like I said, with bigger objects. So it might be a bigger chunk of food, or if you're like Easy and you're watching your figure, you might want to use a toy because it's just that little bit easier to get hold of, a little bit bigger, a little bit less calorie in this one. And so what I would say is think about using a bigger object or a bigger toy or a bigger thing that your dog can catch. That's stage one. The other thing I would do is when I'm teaching my dog to catch, I might pop them on a boundary because then they know which vicinity it's coming in or how it's coming or where it's coming. That can also really help. Now, next off with catching, I will use my dog's daily food. And the reason I use their daily food is because actually they're going to get it anyway, so we may as well have some fun with it. And as you can see, Easy quite likes her food, quite enjoys it. She didn't know where that one went. You nice, good job. So I'm throwing these, she's catching, and they're not too big. Now, if your dog's not as maybe vigorous a catcher as Easy, or maybe not quite as keen to work for something like this as Easy, first off, obviously watch lots of other videos that teach you on YouTube how to get your dog a little bit more focused, a little bit more foodie, a little bit more interested in what you're doing. But secondly, how about consider using something higher value? Some of that wafer thin sort of ham kind of stuff, I tend to use it more as dog treats than anything else. That for me is great because it's that bit bigger, it's easier to catch, it's light and it's sort of, it's large. And so it's not going to add too much to their belly, but it's equally going to mean that catching is really worthwhile. So you can try higher value if you need to add a little bit more in when you're working through catch. Now, as you can see, I've got her on the boundary, so having her on the boundary to play, it just gives an easier space to work in. If I want to make catch a little bit harder, Ease, I might bring her out here and actually have her catching in different places or even from different heights. So you might make it a little bit harder by throwing it in different places. So if you've got a master catcher like Easy here, who's lost that piece, if you've got a master catcher, you might make it difficult for them. So I'm making it hard now by putting it in unpredictable spaces, just to see, you missed that one, just to see. Nice. If you want to make it easy though, remember back to the boundary, throwing to the mouth. So throwing to the mouth, keep them stationary, make it a little bit easier for them. As you can see, super easy way to get them focused. Brilliant in terms of fast, fun way to deliver food and not in a food bowl. Ease middle. You can also be doing it in your middle positions for those of you that have got middle. You could even do it on the move. So you could even be doing it, getting your dog moving around with you, forwards, backwards, side to side. Really, you name it, the options are all out there on catch. And the coolest thing when you're playing catch with your dog is its relationship with you, its proximity to you. They've got their focus on you. For me, it's a win-win game. Whether you're playing with the squirrel, whether you're eating the food, it doesn't really matter. Catch is a cool game. So that was this episode. YouTube, it's been insanely cool to spend time with you. What I'd really love you to do and really appreciate if you did is please share this with someone else who wants a super cool relationship with their dog. Maybe someone who wants a bit more cheer in their day. Maybe someone who wants it a little bit more vibrant, and maybe someone who just enjoy watching and playing with dogs, having more fun. That's what this is about. That was this episode, YouTube. I'll see you real soon in the next episode, which is going to be even more fun.